Are you constantly tired and stressed and confused as to why? In this video, we're going to be sharing 5 reasons why this could be and what you can do about it. Hi guys, welcome to our channel. I'm Yasmin and I'm Nadia. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button below and the bell so you're notified every time we post a video on how to transform your life from stress and unfulfilled to joyful and balanced. So we went through many long periods in the past where we were really stressed and exhausted day after day, and we didn't know why at the time, but over the years we've really identified the main reasons why this was happening, and we're going to share them with you today. So we are going to be sharing a lot more of the psychological and emotional reasons why you may be tired and stressed, but we're going to start off with the foundation in our first tip and our first reason. And the first reason you may be tired and stressed is because your health is not enough of a priority. So before you consider any of the psychological or emotional reasons why you may be experiencing fatigue and stress in your life, it's important to make sure that you first of all have the foundation, which is, are you in good general overall health? So are you drinking your 2 liters of water a day? Are you getting enough hours of sleep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep? Are you having a good diet and getting the exercise in? If you are not following and fulfilling the basic desires of your body, and you are not doing these basic things to have good overall health, then that is probably the reason why you're tired and you're in stress. So it's important to really realize that the primary things that our cells need in our body is oxygen and water. So if you're not drinking around sort of 2 liters of water a day and you're not moving your body to get oxygen into those cells, then your cells are missing the main things to have energy and to thrive. As well as getting in the oxygen and exercise, you need to be making sure you're getting in a variety of really good healthy food. And we say variety specifically because if you are having a variety of food, you're less likely to be having vitamin and mineral deficiencies, which is another reason that you could be feeling very fatigued and stressed. And this is something we really experience. I remember feeling so tired that I looked around and I was like, this is not how people can be living. Like, people cannot be living with these such low states of energy. How do people live like this? But I actually found out that I was very anemic. We actually both were very anemic, and that is why we felt so low energy. So if you are suffering from real fatigue and your body feels really run down, then really go and have the test done to see if you're missing any vital vitamins and minerals. So the second reason is that you have poor boundaries. If you have really poor boundaries, then it's likely that you're constantly doing things that you don't really want to be doing. This is one of the fastest ways to deplete your time and energy and build up stress and resentment, because you're putting someone else's needs or others' needs before your own. Not only will you physically get exhausted and overwhelmed by all the things that you're constantly doing and the amount you're doing and the demands that you're putting on your physical body, you also most likely get emotionally drained, because you probably spend a lot of your time overthinking and worrying about either the fact that you couldn't say no and have good boundaries, or the fact that people are asking you when you already have so much to do. It's important to be aware that people will naturally test your boundaries. So it's your responsibility to get clear on what your boundaries are and stick to them. Otherwise, you'll constantly be at the mercy of other people. So if this is you, here's what to do. First, identify in your life what you're doing that you do not want to be doing. This may seem simple, but you'll be surprised at how many of us are doing things because we think we should be doing them to win the approval of others, or to prevent us from feeling guilt if we don't do them. Then decide to set a boundary in this area. Either decide to stop doing those things altogether, or limit the amount of time you spend doing them, or decide to communicate with the person asking you to do them. If you're in a job or a relationship or a situation that's making you unhappy and drained and stressed all the time, which causes you to spend most of your time worrying and overthinking, and it's disrupting your sleep and your ability to live your life, then ask yourself whether it's time to set a boundary around this or make a change in this area to put yourself and your own well-being first. Then set the boundary. So now it's time to act on that decision. How are you going to set that boundary? Are you going to change something in your life, or speak to someone, or find a way to start saying no to things that drain you? A lot of us struggle to say no because it feels rude and uncomfortable, but we need to realize that you don't have to say no in a rude or offensive manner. Just find a polite or more comfortable way to say no that won't be an obstacle for you. And once you say no, you'll be glad that you did, because you have more time and less stress. So focus on that when you have to face an uncomfortable conversation. Then finally, stick to the boundary you have set. Remember, your boundaries are what protect you from the stress and the fatigue and the emotional stress a lot of the time. So make it a goal to stick to the boundaries you've set. The third reason you may be tired or stressed is that you're overworked or burnt out. So if you are approaching or you're already burnt out, that means that your body is under enormous amounts of pressure and stress, which will make you very tired and exhausted. And there are other symptoms that you can look out for, which are as a result of chronic stress, like brain fog, gut issues, skin rashes and intolerances, and lack of concentration. And we actually experienced this. We had rashes around our eyes for a long time when we were going through a very stressful time of our lives, and we thought it was related to food intolerances. So we did food intolerance tests and we related it to the food. But when we actually stopped being stressed, we were able to eat those foods without having the rashes. So it wasn't the actual food that was making us have the rashes on our skin, it was the stress. So now we're able to actually eat the food. Now we've got a much less stressful lifestyle, we're able to eat the food and not have and experience those rashes around our eyes. So if you are someone who is tired and stressed all the time, then look out for the signs that your body is showing you that you really need to slow down and you are way too stressed. And I'll tell you a little bit about why the physical processes that happen and why your body gets really worn out when you're in stress. We do have a video all about this on how to manage stress that we'll link down below. But as an overview, when we get into a state of stress, so when we have an external stressor, for example, it could be that someone stresses us out at work, or we have the fear of something going on in our mind, that stressor causes us to have a stress response. And what happens in this stress response is our body releases chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline. And these chemicals and hormones, what they do is they cause our blood pressure to increase, our heart rate to go way up, we breathe quicker, all the blood rushes to our larger organs, and this is all in preparation for us to fight off a lion or a tiger. Because back in the day, historically, we would obviously be wanting to run away from a tiger and a threat, so our body would produce this evolutionary response so that we could run away from the tiger and the lion and we could get to safety. And at the end of this stress response, what would usually happen is we would get into a state of relaxation, because we would run away or we'd fight the lion and the tiger, and if we don't get eaten, we would obviously get into a relaxed state and have completed the stress response. So our body would naturally get into a state of balance. But this doesn't happen anymore, because nowadays when we get stressed because we can't meet a deadline in our business, or our work colleague annoys us and stresses us out, we don't run away from the tiger or fight the tiger. We just sit there in our state of stress, which means we don't complete the stress response and get into relaxation and balance. So what we need to do is we need to find ways to complete that stress response. And there's 3 ways that we're going to give you that you can do this. So you can either do sort of exercise every single day to complete that stress response and keep your hormones under check, or you can do deep breathing every day, or you can spend time with loved ones and have some connection, because that also gets your body into relaxation phase. And so now you can see why stress tires us out and exhausts us so much. So this might be a really big reason why you are feeling stressed and tired all the time. And if you want to go further into how to complete the stress cycle and some more detail on this, do check out the video below on how to manage your stress. So the 4th reason is that you're in a self-care and joy deficit. Self-care and joy really aren't at the top of our priority list when we're busy or we've got lots to do. However, they really can be the difference between a stressed and tiring life and a happy and pleasant one. There are now countless studies showing the importance and the benefits of self-care and joy and fun and laughter on our physical and mental health. So it's so crucial that we start incorporating these sort of activities into our day-to-day life to prevent us from getting stressed and overwhelmed and tired all the time. If we're working all the time and we don't make any time for joy or something to look forward to enjoy our life, then it's no wonder we're stressed and we're tired all the time. So if this is you, make a commitment to yourself to start incorporating self-care and joy into your life and your schedule, and make sure you actually put it into your calendar so you actually go through with it. And make sure when you do this, you actually do something that's going to bring you joy and replenish you and make you present. Because just because we're not doing something or we're not working, it doesn't mean we're actually resting. So make sure you pick something that's going to make you fully present and in the moment, so you're not doing that activity while thinking about work or completing tasks in your head. Comment below what you're going to do this week to incorporate self-care and joy in your calendar. The fifth reason is that you're holding on to negative emotions or past wounds. So another reason that you may be tired and stressed all the time is because you are holding on to past wounds, traumas, or negative emotions and feelings. And what I mean by this is, say for example, you have a friend or family member that has annoyed you or upset you in the past, and you're kind of holding a grudge towards them, and every time you think about this thing, well, you try and push this thing down, you try and push this feeling and this memory down, but every time you think of it, it makes you feel a little bit angry and upset. So even if you're trying to pretend that this thing didn't happen, or trying to push those feelings and emotions down, even when they come up, sometimes you may acknowledge them. This thing is leeching your energy. It is literally draining you, and it will be making you more tired. The thing is that our emotions are powerful. Scientists now know that every single time we have a thought or feeling, every cell in our body creates chemicals called neuropeptides that impact every system and organ in our body. If the thoughts and feelings are negative ones, then the body releases chemicals like cortisol, and this impacts our body in very many negative ways, like we spoke about earlier. And what happens is it actually creates a problem for the immune system. Negative emotions and thoughts negatively impact the immune system because of these chemicals that are being released. Whereas if we release and have positive emotions and thoughts, we actually create body chemistry which is beneficial to our immune system. Your cells and body is responding each and every single one of your thoughts. So if you are holding on to negative thoughts and emotions and beliefs and wounds, you are draining your body and you are stressing your body out. Also, another really big reason that carrying wounds and negative emotions can stress you out and tire you out is not just because you are carrying these negative wounds and traumas and stresses, but because they become the driving force for certain behaviors that will eventually stress you out and tire you out anyway. So what I mean by this is, we had a lot of childhood wounds when we were growing up, and we were carrying those wounds, and the belief that we had is that we didn't feel worthy in some way, and that we felt that we had to prove ourselves. So because we were carrying these negative emotions and wounds, our result and our behavior was to try and prove ourselves by working really hard all the time and overworking and working really late and trying to achieve all these things, all because we tried to prove ourselves. And even though we had achieved so many things, these behaviors and negative emotions caused us to have a very stressed and tired lifestyle. And so if you want to claim your energy back and you want to have these positive emotions and really support yourself and your body, then you need to relieve yourself of all these negative past experiences, emotions and beliefs that you're carrying. And how do we do this? We do this through shadow work. We talk about this in all of our videos. This is what we did and we do with all of our clients, and it really does work, and we love shadow work. So we have done some videos on this in the past, but we're going to give you briefly what you need to do and some questions so you can do this for yourself now. So if you do want to look into shadow work a little bit further, then do check out our video below. But for the purposes of this video, we will just explain that shadow work is, in a nutshell, it's making sort of unconscious thoughts and beliefs, bringing them to the conscious with the aim of healing them, so with the aim of accepting them and creating beliefs that empower you instead of the ones that drain you. So this is what we want you to do. Get into a state where you feel very grounded, and we want you to approach these questions with as much self-compassion and self-acceptance as you can. So the questions to ask yourself are: what am I currently holding on to that is using up my energy? What situations from the past make me feel unhappy or angry? How can I reinterpret these situations so that I feel lighter? What do I need to let go of to release these situations? So by asking yourself some of these questions and reflecting upon them, some things will resurface for you. And you want to approach them with as much self-love and compassion so that you can start to find ways to heal them and let them go, so that you stop having your energy drained by these things that are floating around in your subconscious mind or even your conscious mind. And if you do want to dive into this a little bit deeper, we do have a free Burnout to Balance masterclass, which we'll link down below, which does take you through a more detailed step-by-step process. That's it for today, guys. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like, share, subscribe and comment, and until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.